Hello, Internet. I'm Daniel O'Brien, and welcome to another episode of Obsessive Pop Culture Disorder, the show that loves pop culture so much that it can't help but ruin it through pedantic overanalysis. Today's episode asks the question... I've been thinking a lot about Krang lately. For those of you who already know who Krang is, I love you. For those of you who don't, Krang was the chief enemy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 80s cartoon show of the same name.
Soon, this miserable planet will be ours.
Krang is the exiled former ruler of the dreaded Dimension X, but for reasons never made clear in the show, he no longer has a body and has been reduced to just a brain. Or we think he's a brain. It's never explicitly said in the show, and in fact, I've got a fairly involved pet theory that assumes that he is a talking pink half-scrotum with wobbly nubs, but I'll save that for another episode. I will save that for my worst episode. Today's episode explores 9 things in your life that are actually scrotums right now. Number 9, Christmas. Whether he's draped in the sensitive pink skin of brain matter or the soft and tender flesh of scrotal meat, the point is that Krang's exterior is incredibly vulnerable. To keep himself safe, he had Shredder, his second-in-command, construct a large protective biosuit that only he can control. The suit is physically imposing, can fly, and has hands that can switch off from regular hands to blades or drills or maces or whatever else Krang might need. It's also a big shirtless fat guy in red underwear for no reason. Krang could have had any design in the whole world, but he chose this one. On top of that, he situates himself not on top of that, where brains go, but in the center of the body, which, 2 things. 1, no peripheral vision, and 2, this. You're at crotch level of everyone you're talking to. As a rule, no matter what. Unless Krang's planning on interacting exclusively with small children, in which case, there's no clear reason to keep his eyes and mouth where everybody else keeps their genitals all the time. Unless there is a reason. Let's temporarily ignore the very popular theory that a lot of smart people have that Krang is actually a half-testicle. Let's assume he's a brain. But he's not just a brain. He is pure brain. He's all brain, baby, and a genius. If we begin with the premise that Krang is a hyper-intelligent brain, then we need to then arrive at the conclusion that there's a brilliant strategic reason for building a suit that is A, objectively ridiculous, and B, situates his face, his most vulnerable spot, on the worst place on the body. Or, let's say, the second worst. But, back on target, here's why Krang's suit is perfect for battle. Step 1. Disorient your opponent with a distractingly garish style of dress, immediately catching them off guard. Step 2. Force your opponent into an uncomfortable and compromised position. All of Krang's enemies who wanted to talk to him would have to bend down to address him at eye level. This leaves the opponent vulnerable to an attack because the rest of the robotic body would naturally have the higher ground, and also if the enemies got close enough, he could just, like, stick those little wobbly nubs right in their mouths. Wouldn't that be gross? Little wobbly nubs in your mouth? I bet they're salty. And you, like, feel the wrinkles on your tongue? Krang. Great episode. We learned that Krang's suit, while seemingly ill-equipped to deal with absolutely everything, is actually perfect for Krang's needs. I wouldn't be surprised if we all started dressing like Krang in the not-too-distant future. Number 6, Milk Duds. That's it for today. Tune in next time when our topic will be a different episode that's also about Krang. Oh, I am excited about that. I've been your host, Daniel O'Brien. Thanks for kranging by. Krang, 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 Krang!
I don't want these nerds subscribing to our channel.
That's not, they're our fans, you know, don't call them that.
Nerds? Nerds.
Just tell them to subscribe, please.
What? What did I just say? I'm not doing it. You do your own. I don't need this. I don't need this. Bring my car around.